Hey everybody, it's Adam, live and in person for you. Hey everybody, it's Adam, wonder who he'll interview. Call me Adam.com.
Hey everyone, it's Call Me Adam, and I'd like to take a moment to thank you for tuning into my show. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Patreon family for supporting this podcast on a deeper level. If you want to support this podcast even more and become a member of my Patreon family, you can get a variety of backstage perks. Visit patreon.com/callmeadamnyc for more information. Now, on today's episode of Bearing It All with Call Me Adam, I am chatting with Emmy Award winning actor and Tony nominated producer Eric Nelsen. When we come back, we'll be talking with Eric about Fatherhood, starring on the 19-time Emmy Award winning series The Bay, producing the 11-time Tony nominated play The Inheritance, and much more. So stay tuned. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so excited that you're able to come on the show. Um, we have so much to talk about. I've been loving The Bay. The Inheritance was the Broadway play I saw literally the night before Broadway shut down. I saw part 2 on Wednesday, March 11th, and Broadway shut down Thursday, March 12th.
Wow.
Yes.
You're lucky.
So lucky.
Oh, wow.
So lucky. So let's why don't we start with The Inheritance? Because it just got nominated for 11 Tony Awards. So how did you get into producing for theater?
That's a great question. So I started out acting on Broadway. I was in the musical 13, and that before that I did a lot of theater. And so theater was always my first love of the arts. It's what brought me into film and TV. It's where I started. So I knew once I got into producing for film and TV, I knew that one day I wanted to produce Broadway because for me, that's home. So it would kind of be a full circle moment for me if I was able to do that. So once I got some success producing film and TV wise, I started reaching out to Broadway producers that I had worked with in the past, letting them know what I've been doing, and also letting them know that I'm really interested in producing for Broadway, and if they could, keep me in the loop of what they have going on, or even, maybe go out for some lunches, just anything I could grasp or hold on to that would get me one step closer to that dream. And one producer in particular named Jim Kierstead, who's a multiple Tony-winning producer.
Yes, I love
Also happened to
Jim.
be, you know Jim?
I do, yes.
He's such a great guy.
Yes.
He was also one of our producers on 13. And so eventually I worked for him in a couple other shows as an actor. And then when I reached out to him, letting him know I was interested in producing theater, he couldn't have been sweeter. He really took me on as a mentor, and taught me everything there was to know. He kept me in the loop on all of his projects, and he constantly updated me with what he had going on. So I learned a lot from Jim, and he's an incredible guy. So he was kind of my big step into the world of producing for theater, was kind of having him in my corner. And then he had a couple shows come by, and it just wasn't quite right for a couple years. I didn't pull the trigger on a couple things because I was just waiting for that one just show that checked all the boxes. And then, ironically enough, my manager was the one that brought me The Inheritance, and from an acting standpoint.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, it had just won the Olivier Award in London and had all the success. I read the play. I think I read it in one sitting.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't even blink, I feel like, from beginning to end. So I knew I was in love with it. And it was just so incredibly moving and powerful, and everything about it was exactly what I was looking for in a piece of theater. And so made a couple calls, and was able to link with a producer from Greenleaf Productions, and we had a meeting, and before you know it, I was able to come on board as a producer, and it was an incredible journey. One I would do all over again if I could.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
It
Now,
really was.
you mentioned that initially when you were reading it, you were reading it from an acting standpoint. Did you want to audition for the show as well as an actor, or were you solely reading it in mind to produce it?
I was reading it in mind to audition to be in it.
Mm.
And the part I wanted was already cast, and they were bringing over some people from the London production. I
Oh.
was like, well, shoot. Well, if I can still be a part of this production in some capacity, I want to be. So I figured it would be a great opportunity on the producing front to get involved. And who knows, there might be, we already have a slated production at the Geffen Theater in LA,
Uh-huh.
which will be happening in the spring if, the world allows us to.
Yes.
I'm looking for potential to be in it as an actor as well. So that might be potential.
Oh, that would be great. It's very exciting that you were still able to be part of the project in in the producing capacity, even though you originally wanted to act in it. But like you said, I mean, how great that you were able to pivot that way.
Right.
And it also shows a lot of just good business sense on your end to be like, well, I can't act in it, but you know what? I still want to be part of this production, so let me go behind the scenes and help produce it.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
You're
It's funny. That's
welcome.
kind of why I got into producing. It's as an actor, there's so many ups and then there's so many downs. And
Mhm.
they're in between the ups and the downs is the waiting period, right? You don't know what's happening. And so
Yes.
producing was a way for me to still be creative and to create without necessarily having to be the face of it. So that's exactly why I got into it. So the in between time seemed a lot smaller because in between the acting roles, I fill it with producing stuff. So it kind of works out.
That's great. Now, do you think also the storyline, because of your storyline on the Bay
Mhm.
as Daniel, did that play? Do you think that subconsciously or consciously played into your choice too to want to be to feel so strongly about the production?
Perhaps, yeah, actually, having gone through such a journey with Daniel on the Bay, it really tied me in with a community of people that otherwise wouldn't have been tied into. And the support and the love and the encouragement that I've gotten from the LGBT community from playing Daniel has just been so incredible. I think when I read it, I was so immersed in a season. I remember, I think, of the Bay as well, that um, it just clicked. It just made perfect sense to me, and it was something that I felt everyone needed to see, and I wanted to shine light on. Even though the play takes place over a period of years, it still feels so timely today. Um, and so that was another thing that really resonated with me about it. But I do say, through Daniel and the inheritance, getting to have a small foot in what seems like such an incredibly wonderful community has been such a blessing for me, and it's opened so many doors and so many pathways for me that I never knew were there. So it's been amazing.
That is so nice to hear because I have been loving you on the Bay. Um, I love Daniel's storyline.
Thank you.
Um, the way that the show is dealing with Daniel's coming out and sorry, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. But you came out in your character came out in season 3, and now I just I just finished watching season 5. I haven't been able to start season 6 yet because unfortunately I don't get Popstar TV.
Okay.
So the last I saw was your high school friend comes to stay at the Garrett estate, and the last scene that we have with you are you and him in the pool,
Oh yeah.
and you have your wonderful kiss exchange.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would love to talk about your whole journey with Daniel, like, um, because you're not gay in yourself. So
Mhm.
how did you prepare for the role once you knew that Daniel was going to be going on this journey of coming out?
Um, I feel like I tackled it just like I would any storyline that I haven't ex- necessarily lived in my own life. And that's really developing um, personal storyline for the character, and that's
Mhm.
really creating uh, a beginning, middle, and end from before you see him show up on camera. But really developing his full arc as a human and as a person helped with that and made it feel authentically genuine for myself. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't playing any stereotypes or you know um, pushing certain directions to try to make it seem like, oh, I'm gay, so I have to. Now I wanted to be as true to myself as possible while bringing truth to Daniel. And so that's what I feel helped me along the journey.
Well, I think you have achieved that. As someone from watching the show and someone who went through his own coming out, I do feel like you have been portraying Daniel very well.
Thank you. I'm really excited for you to see season 6 because there's so much coming for
One thing
you.
I do want to know with Daniel's storyline, what do you think was the hardest part of his storyline for you to portray, and why do you think it gave you so much trouble?
Um, I think, that's a good question. Well, his initial coming out definitely was um, the most emotional, only because it was really his first first time Daniel was admitting himself to anybody, and it happened to be in a church with a priest, a Catholic priest, which is so ironic, but so beautiful at the same time, because typically the Catholic Church isn't depicted in the best light when it comes to the LGBT community and
Yes.
their beliefs on it, and so for Gregory to shed light on not only Daniel's acceptance, but to do it through an avenue that doesn't generally accept it, I thought was just so moving, and was so incredible. And also, when Daniel came out to his father, I that was a really tough day for me, because there were moments in my life where I struggled to have what I thought was acceptance from my own father,
Mm.
and that when I started dancing and when I started singing, and he was a farm town boy from the Midwest, who has never seen a play in his entire life. So for me, it was always a struggle of am I good enough? Is this okay? Why doesn't he understand this? So I was kind of able to pull from that,
Mm.
to use with Daniel coming out to his father, who he thought would kind of react the same way.
Right. Right.
So that I think may have hit a little closer to home, just because I was able to pull a little more of my own self into that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But both of those scenes for sure were the biggest challenges and most moving for me.
Now let's take it to the other side of a little fun. Now, one of my favorite scenes of yours as Daniel was when you were in the hotel room with my friend Terry Ivins, who plays Orchid.
Yes.
So what can you share with us, some like fun behind the scene stories about that time, or just any fun stories of working with Terry in general?
Oh, I mean, Terry is a little firecracker. She is amazing. She's spunky. She's got energy, and yet she's so beautiful and so elegant. At the same time, she's amazing. And her and I hit it off right away. She's so sweet. Her daughter is a gymnast, and we talked a lot about gymnastics and things like that. And so we always were good friends and got along from the start. And so then when Daniel's put in these situations, where he goes to visit her as a hooker, to try to see if he can, pull through with it to try to prove something to himself. And he,
Yes.
of course, isn't able to do it because it's just so fake. But I just remember like walking in that one scene, and I'm just in my underwear, and she's of course looking all, in her outfit too. And I just remember us just having to laugh between takes because
Mhm.
it's like, you know, we're doing such a serious thing, but at the same time, it really is so funny because it's like somebody trying so hard and everyone knows that it's
Yes.
not, you know, it's like, who are you trying to kid?
Mhm.
So she makes everything lighthearted between takes, and we're always laughing, and we really do feel like a big family on set,
Mm.
all of us actors, and it's a big testament to Gregory because he really is good about making us feel like a family. And you know, he weeds through actors, you know, and the good ones stay that are good people. And he'll get these big names and stuff, and actors that come on the show. And for Gregory, it's not really about that. It's more about the atmosphere that we have offset,
Mhm.
which carries on to set, and that shows chemistry and such. And so he's really big on creating a family and creating this atmosphere that doesn't seem like work because we're all so close offset.
Oh.
So that's been the most special part about being on the Bay, in my opinion.
That is so nice to hear. And I will say Terry said the same thing about the being part of the Bay cast. She's like, it reminds her of her days on All My Children because she was on there for so long, and the sense of family that she got from that show. She says she gets that from the Bay as well. And Gregory also mentioned in his interview just how much he loves his cast and how appreciative he is of everybody. And he's just so lucky to have just the most amazing people on the show, and it's just so nice to hear that it's like a good, you know, set with a lot of camaraderie between everybody.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
great.
And to hear it from three different people, I mean, that's, you know, now you know it's true.
Right, right,
We're not just
exactly.
blowing smoke.
Exactly. Great. Now, as as a father, and we're gonna get into fatherhood a little bit later, but now that you are a father, how do you with the work that you take, so like continuing with the Bay and producing, does being a father influence the roles and projects you take on as sort of like a legacy that you want to build for your you just had you have a baby daughter?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Um that you want her to be able to see like this is what daddy did.
That's an interesting question. You know, it's funny. She's only a year old now, and I feel like for most of her life we've been in this pandemic, uh,
Mhm.
and so it's been a much slower year,
Mhm.
which has been amazing in certain aspects, where we've been able to spend so much one-on-one time together. Where generally I'd be off in New York or off in LA filming. We've really been able to spend this year bonding, and the time has been invaluable. It's been incredible. Um, but in the past, we always joke about it because my wife and I, all of the stuff that I've done, odds are she won't be able to watch until she's at least 18. But my wife is a voiceover actor. She does animation. And so all of the stuff she does is kids shows. She's on Roles and Boss Baby and Barbie and like all the best shows that our daughter is already starting to love. So we always joke that first half of her year will be all mommy stuff. Second half of her life will be all daddy stuff. But going forward, I definitely see and approach scripts through a different eye. Just having had her as a child, and I think I will be more cautious and selective. But overall, I hope that she looks at my body of work and just says, "Wow, you know, he had no limits, and he really had no fear as an actor and went for it all." And if she ever thinks or says that to herself, then I know I did what I wanted to do right.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive in a little bit more to fatherhood, and we have some rapid fire questions, and a little bit more about your life outside of acting. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Eric Nelsen.
Hey, everyone. My name is Eric Nelsen, and you're listening to Bearing It All with Call Me Adam.
And now we're back. Welcome back.
Thanks.
You're
And I
welcome.
have to comment on both of our blue V-neck shirts right now.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's why we're very in sync. Now, I'm filming this in my closet, which is somewhat apropos considering your storyline with Daniel.
Accurate.
However, like Daniel, luckily both Daniel and I are out of the closet now.
Yes.
But I do come back in for my interviews, so it's a little bit back and forth for me.
That's hilarious.
Now, where are you in your house? Because I do see your Emmy Award very prominently displayed as it should be.
I'm upstairs and I'm in my office.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've got my own space here. And behind me it was a closet and I took the doors off and I just have a shelf. And so now it's kind of got like a nice archway and kind of frames me in, which I like. You got
Yes.
JFK up there.
Oh, yes. Very
um,
nice.
and over on this wall is kind of all my show posters and work that I've done.
Oh,
You can
wow.
see all the plays and things.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, this is the room where I spend most of my creative time.
Yes. What are some things you like to do outside of acting? Like, what are some of your hobbies?
Love to travel. We've been all over the world, and it's my favorite thing to do. Even if we do it on a shoestring budget, or if we just finished a big series and we're living in bougie. No matter how we get it done, we've done it every single way possible, and it's our favorite. So traveling is a big one. Let's see what else. I love exercising. I love running. I'm always outside. I live across the street from a park, and I'm that guy that's just always out there running around, doing whatever I can do to find physical activity out there.
Uh-huh.
Very much love it. And let's see, besides that, I like music as well.
Uh-huh.
I've got a piano at the house. I play a lot.
Mm.
Got a guitar here in the office. I like to strum. And my daughter loves listening to music. She likes to sit next to me now on the piano bench and kind of plunk out notes while I'm playing. So for me to see her, her love of music starting to blossom, it's just warms my heart.
Oh, that's so
That'd be
nice.
great.
That's awesome. What are some things that fatherhood has taught you so far that you didn't expect?
Well, I didn't expect time to fly by this fast. I can tell
Hmm.
you that. The fact that she's already 13 months it seems like insanity. And I feel like my parents when I say that, oh, it just goes faster, just wait, but it really does. It's so scary. Um, but it's also taught me it's really taught me to be able to shut everything else out, to really be in this moment one-on-one. Because I feel like for the last, I don't know how many years, it's thinking about a million things and what's next and how do I, capitalize on this, or how do I, where can I go from here? But with her, it's taught me to the only thing that matters when I'm with her is her.
Mm.
And nothing else even gets in the way of that. And I don't even know if I could even learn how to be that way unless I had her.
Mm-hmm.
Really shutting everything else out. You have to, just because you have to watch her at all times, because who
Right.
knows what she's gonna put in her mouth or bump into, or so like
Mhm.
it makes you uber focused at all times. But then also just to truly be present, so she's getting all of me every time we're together. And so that's been a really unique and incredible thing that I've witnessed in myself that I didn't know was possible because of her. So
That's so beautiful.
just stopping time, I didn't think it was
Yeah.
possible. It's really cool.
Aw. Such a proud dad. I love it.
I
I
really am.
love it. I love it. And you can see it all over, not only in your words, but you see it all over your face. You just totally lit up beyond what you were lit up before.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's definitely real.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Let's move into some rapid fire questions because I love to get to know my guests through these as well.
Okay.
So, first question is favorite TV show.
Of all time, Breaking Bad. Currently, a Holiday Kids Baking Championship.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Yes. Favorite game show?
Probably Jeopardy.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Mm.
Favorite board game?
Um, hmm, um, that's a good one. I love anything where you get to act things out. The actual board game, only because I probably played it a million times with my little sisters growing up, was probably Candyland.
Oh, I love it. I loved Candyland growing up.
And now Kristen Chenoweth is hosting a new show called Candyland.
Yes.
I haven't
Yes.
watched it yet, but I'm excited to see it.
Oh my God, she's so much fun. I just watched it on Sunday. Have you watched Holiday on Netflix yet?
Yes.
Yes. She's
Yes.
in that too. Oh my God, she's hilarious.
I know. She's so good. She's so talented.
So talented. Favorite scent or smell?
Ooh, Christmas tree. Like, what is that? Pine? Or...
Yes, pine. Like, yeah.
Yep.
I love that. Favorite cereal?
Growing up, it was peanut butter crunch. Now I'm probably more boring and some like like some cashy cereal or like something like
some like healthy cereal.
Yeah, some with a bunch of grain and fiber and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Favorite comfort food?
Love me some Popeyes.
Your go-to karaoke song?
Go-to karaoke song. Oh, that's changed over the years. What was the last one I just sang? I think it was a Green Day song, actually. Maybe Wake Me Up When September Ends or something. But I have an arsenal. Like there's definitely a list.
Okay.
But yeah.
Green Day is not an answer I often get, so I like that. It's very different.
Keep people on their toes.
Yes. Your go-to emoji when texting?
Fire.
And lastly, boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
And that's all the rapid fire questions.
Nice.
Yes. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, I do have to go back to your Broadway days for one moment before we get to the last question, because you were in 13 and Ariana Grande was in 13 with you. Mm-hmm. Do you have any fun stories about working with her or anything? Because if I didn't ask, I would probably get slaughtered. So
she was the sweetest little girl ever. And very much just seemed like the little sister that everybody wanted to have around. I was 2 years older than her. She was always laughing, even multiple times, even sometimes during performances. Like something would happen and I would just look back and she'd just be giggling. And of course she would pull it off and nobody knew what was going on, but everything was fun for her. I don't know. After the show ended, she got the Nickelodeon series and then became the biggest superstar on the planet.
Right.
Don't know her as well anymore. But I will say, having done the show with her, that was kind of her first big professional gig. She had the voice of God, of an angel. It was always incredible. But was still shocked to see how quickly she went from who I knew to the world's biggest pop star in the world. Yeah. To me, it happened overnight. And when people say, it takes 10 years for someone to become an overnight celebrity, or it takes this, for me, I truly felt like for her, it happened overnight. Like she did Broadway, she did a Nickelodeon show, and then boom, everybody in the world knew who Ariana Grande was. Yeah. So it was incredible to see that. But I have nothing but good things to say about her.
I love it. That's wonderful. Well, we're already at the end of the interview. You have been such a joy to talk to. And I always end my interviews playing off of the title of my podcast, Bearing It All with Call Me Adam. So if you could bear it all and reveal something about yourself that you haven't told in previous interviews, what would you share with me today?
That is a loaded question.
It is.
I ride a unicycle.
Oh.
It's a very strange.
That's interesting.
Weird thing. I have some cousins in California that taught me, and then I had to buy a few because I wanted my own and used to just ride it around places.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Do you
never
still ride?
I haven't in a long time, but the skill is there, and it was definitely on my special skills on my resume growing up.
I was just about to ask that question.
Yep, it was.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, little weird fun fact.
Well, if you have any videos of it, post it on your social media because I'm sure people would love to see it.
Okay, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much again for joining me today. Everybody watching and listening, don't forget, watch Eric on The Bay, which you can watch on Popstar TV. Seasons 3 through 5 are also on Amazon Prime. And we're waiting anxiously for the Tony Awards to announce when the ceremony is going to happen because we want to see The Inheritance win. And lastly, where can everybody find you on social media?
Instagram at Eric Nelsen Official and Twitter at Eric Nelsen. Nelsen spelled weird. It's Nelsen. It's not Nelson, which everyone always misspells. And actually, a fun little last little plug. Today, I have a movie that just was released called One Night in San Diego, and that is available. It's a hilarious comedy. It's a female-driven comedy, and I play a very fun character. So you can watch that now on Amazon, all the video on demand platforms. So make sure you check out One Night in San Diego as well.
I love that. And just always remember, here at the Broadway Podcast Network, we have over 70 theater and art related podcasts. So keep listening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
He'll get the dirt and the scoop and the story, for he happens to be in the know. Just ask anybody who's Adam. Adam lives for the business of show. CallMeAdam.com.
Find more episodes of Bearing It All with Call Me Adam everywhere you stream podcasts. For my print and video interviews, visit my website, callmeadam.com. Follow me on social media at callmeadamnyc on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And finally, if you really want to get involved, support my podcast on a deeper level by becoming a member of my Patreon family. Visit patreon.com/callmeadamnyc. There, you'll get a variety of backstage perks, including advance notice of interviews, the ability to submit a question to my guests, and everyone's favorite, swag.